Some houses have stories to tell, and some neighbors are more than happy to help them along. Today, I'm sharing 2 of those moments, from the girls who showed up drunk on my freshly painted porch to the entitled previous owner's soap opera drama that unfolded. It's all part of life in this old house, and trust me, it's been a ride. But before we get into the gossip and the weirdness, let's rewind a bit. This week was all about tackling the front porch and getting some of that paint on the house. That disgusting chip red paint didn't stand a chance. I spent hours sanding it down, patching what I could, and finally painting it fresh and clean. And let me tell you, by the time I put the last stroke of paint on the porch, I was exhausted but proud. One more task off the ever-growing to-do list, but of course it wouldn't be this house if it wasn't a little drama to go with it. First up, the girls who decided my freshly painted porch was the perfect place for beer pong at midnight. And let's not forget the family reunion, suspicious intentions, and some very Real Housewives vibes. So stick around, this episode is a mix of paint paranoia and a whole lot of neighborly weirdness. So I just put a first coat of Olympic porch and patio paint. It has like a sand in it, which is good for wintertime when it gets cold and slippy out here. Bright yellow house. Went with the buzzin' color by Bear. But I didn't really like, I like the color, but I wanted, I think, a lighter gray. So I ended up going back and getting another porch and patio paint by Bear, painting that. But I like both of them. But I think I want to go with the gray. Then I need to do all the trim. This is going to have to be white. These all need fixed. The wheelchair ramp needs ripped off. I don't know what happened with this right here. Had the decorative trim right here. Is there a squirrel over there? Yeah, and this thing's not even into anything. So there's nothing holding the porch up over here. Just leaning over. And then the 4x4 underneath it is not touching. There's nothing underneath it. It's just hanging there. Looks like they just put it on the dirt. But yes, I need to put the decorative railing back here. I have some of the decorative moldings for up here, but it looks like the brackets would have went in there. And there's nail holes up there, so they obviously had it hanging at one point. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, they put this column up wrong because that bracket that is on the wrong side. Right here. It's supposed to be over here. But this one's leaning too, so I don't know. They're all messed up and they're all missing their trim. I don't think this was like that. It looked like they just kind of ghettoed this together like that. They probably would have all had been like this at one point. And then they had the decorative trim. So I'm missing all that. And then they would have had the shutters that actually operated to go in, which I'm thinking about putting those back on with the hinges. Painting those emerald green. Lots of work. I need to, she has packaging tape. She must have been cold, so she packaged her windows. A lot of the windows she put caulking on it and then like put packaging tape around the caulk. And then I think kind of want to do like everybody does, is that paint blue color on the ceiling. I think that would be nice. Yep. I did sand a little spot over here with my 40 grit because I hate paint stripping. It looks pretty nice. The wood actually looks pretty good. so I'm gonna have to remake all of these. And there would have been a decorative porch over where 1960 is. That would have been a pretty little decorative porch. And up here would have had the, over here would have had the balcony for the servant quarters. Ugh. The woman that lived here for 60 years ripped all that stuff off. So I wonder where all that stuff went. And I do have another doorknob into the carriage house. It's like a brown, what would that be? A brown ceramic. Some mess in there somewhere. But yeah, so I only have one knob for this door. I did find. I don't know what the hardware would have been on this. It would have been one of those, what do you call it? Because I think this was on the hardware's still on the carriage house. I don't know if I should steal that off of there, put it on this door. But it's missing its decorative trim over here. So it's all wobbly. And so that's the screen door. And then this one has the Corbin doorbell, but I'm missing the lever on it. A creeper. Okay, creeper's going the other way. Yeah, had a lever. And he had a new modern doorknob here that was sunk into the hole. And missing my mortise lock. This, I think this was on here, or no, only one of them. This I was on here. I kind of put it on here again. I used a drywall screw to hold that on here. But yeah, here's the lock hole. This is pretty neat. Too bad that's gone. And then that's the doorbell on this side. It's really neat. And there's another doorknob or a doorbell on the other door. But it's all painted and she put caulking all in here. So that'll be fun to try to get out. Looks like a kid's been kicking the door. But yeah. So this is how she closed it. I guess no one went through this door. We have little, and then she's using this to close the actual door. So there's a porch lock on my 200-year-old door. Oops, I have a paint junk over here I need to move. So yeah, so this is how she's locking the door. With this. With her. Super fancy. So I gotta figure out filling the hole here, and wish I had the lock so I could actually lock the door. Yep. And use my front door to cut in and out of. That'd be nice. So maybe I'll buy a fancy lock to go here. It's like, I don't know. Replace this or replace this. I don't know. It'd be nice to have a locking door for safety. I had spent hours sanding the porch, that disgusting chipped peeling red paint. I tried to drive down what screws I could and the rest got the sander. I started painting the porch, and by that evening I had put the final strokes on it. I was done. Clean, fresh, and one step closer to another task off the ever-growing to-do list. I was exhausted. School was starting for the kids. It was the beginning for our new everything. And I had just started to drift off to sleep when my oldest came into the room and said, "Mom, someone's knocking at the door." Great, now what? I thought. It was 10 p.m. and I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's pitch black and there are millions of scenarios playing in my head. I'm fumbling with the front door, one that hasn't been properly opened in years and doesn't even have a real lock. I crack it open and call out, "Hello, can I help you?" Two women were standing there on my freshly painted porch, completely drunk. I mean, about to black out drunk, slurring and swaying. I thought one was going to break through the porch railing and take the corner post with her. "Do you want to be friends?" one of them asked, beer in hand, as if liquid courage made us soulmates. All I could think about was every true crime show I had ever watched. They're gonna lure me outside, knock me out, and I'll wake up zip-tied in a basement of someone's house being told to put the lotion on the skin, or that men were waiting in the bushes or behind my house. I stood behind the old screen door like it was bulletproof glass. Eventually, I stepped out very cautiously, thinking I could take them since both were extremely drunk. They then asked for my phone number. I don't think we had anything in common. I just wanted to go back inside to bed. What really set me off was that they each put their beer cans upside down onto my freshly painted porch. Girl beer dripping down onto my clean, still drying paint like it was some frat house patio. I found that to be so disrespectful. After a good 30 minutes of awkward conversation and me trying not to panic, they left drunk in their car, and I didn't sleep a single second after that. I was convinced someone was going to come back and break into my house. I sat up, watching every headlight that had passed by, listened to every creak. By morning, I was wiped out. One of them did come back the next day with a plant. Maybe she felt bad, or maybe she was trying to make up for the beer stain on my newly painted porch. Either way, welcome to the neighborhood, I guess. While I was working outside, cleaning the siding off, a car pulled up. It was the woman who sold us the house, along with her daughter and her son-in-law. They had told me they had to show the granddaughter the house that day. She said she had never been inside. They acted like they were just going to walk through the house without me, as if they still owned it. The grandmother had lived there over 64 years. I knew it was a lie. The granddaughter was already in her 50s and hadn't ever been inside. I firmly said no because I got a bad feeling, and I knew they were lying. What were they up to pass judgment, to be nosy? I don't think they were also in my house while we weren't living in it yet, since they still had a key. The no didn't go over well. Their smiles disappeared faster than a Botox coupon at the country club. Apparently, being told no was not on the menu. They froze emotionally and physically, and the vibe turned from friendly to real-on housewives confrontation. I've never seen this show, by the way, because I don't like that kind of stuff. The whole thing felt off. The woman's face was so overly inflated with filler, I genuinely couldn't stop wondering if her cheeks would squeak if I poked them. Meanwhile, the doctor husband was weirdly normal-ish. He actually asked questions about the work I was doing. Probably just grateful to be near someone who knew how to use a tool that wasn't just for exfoliating. The daughter was a carbon copy of her mother, who was a carbon copy of the grandmother. It was like a generational Xerox machine jammed on entitled. Married for money, fueled by judgment, accessorized with silent superiority. The town thought the grandmother was rich, But the collapsing porch, rotten steel beams, peeling paint, and the collapsing carriage house screamed otherwise. When she saw me working with my hands like some commoner, I could feel it. She looked at me like I was a roach that had crawled into her mimosa brunch. Oh, the way she stared, it was golem-level unsettling. Like I had the one ring and she really wanted it back, but couldn't admit to why. This window is really bad because the roof was extended probably like 10 years ago when the nephew came out and worked on the porch. And they needed a diverter flashing there in the corner, so the water would just run into the rain gutter as opposed to running into the window and down the siding there. And I didn't really realize how bad this storm window was until I started taking it off. The mutton, I do believe that's what it's called, was pretty bad. I think I can replace the muttons on it. But I'm just trying to get some of the old paint off. I should have panned the camera up, but there's a squirrel hole right there in that corner, and they were just chewing inside of the house. I have no idea for how long, but it was like that when we bought the house with the huge hole. So I'm just trying to use some sort of I don't remember what I used here. Probably Bondo, which you probably shouldn't have used. Later on, I go back and use Abertron on most of the holes in the house. That's far superior than Bondo wood putty, because that stuff just kind of fails after time. Alright. So I just sanded a little bit. This roof line's rotting out that window. It's pretty rotted behind that frame. I don't have any tools since we moved. I don't have a table saw. So all this stuff's gonna have to wait till next summer. But I got the storm window out. Cleaned this one up. Needs another coat of paint. Might go back over and strip some more of the paint off of there. This is half rotten. So I might go around and glaze it. Maybe the glaze will kind of hold it in place. But yeah, that was kind of sketchy. I'm hoping a walnut doesn't fall. Maybe I should pick it up.